Hello, everyone of the Facebook community. Welcome. My name is Nu Vang, and if this is your first time catching me, a video of me, welcome. I'm so happy that you are here. And today's video, I'm going to be sharing a little bit of the behind the scenes and a little bit of something that has come up for me and that has been on my mind. I've been contemplating talking about it with other people, and I wanted to share it here with you. So let's get started, shall we? So for me, this year 2024 has just been such a roller coaster. So many things has happened, and I feel like I always say that, but honestly, this year was the year that I really disconnected from my business online, and I really took the time to be with myself, to not go on social media at all, to really look deep within and honestly figure out who I am and what I wanted. And aside from all the voices that I've been following, because I've been in the world of personal development and self-growth for about 3 years. This is the fourth year, and there's so many wonderful coaches and mentors out there that I really look up to, but sometimes you forget who you are because you're surrounded by so many amazing people, and you forget that you may or may not agree with some of the things that you are hearing, but you're learning, right? I was like a sponge. I was learning, and I was absorbing, and I was taking in, consuming so much information that I felt like at a point I lost who I was. I lost what I was doing and why I started what I was doing. So long story short, that was why I felt like I just felt a calling. I just listened to my body, and I knew that it was time for me to take a pause. For me, it kind of had to come to a point where I was kind of forced to stop because I just couldn't show up online authentically anymore, and I'm not someone who is willing to compromise my authenticity, period, right? I don't really know any other way to say it, but that's really how I felt. And so in February, I stopped cold turkey, and I actually didn't even announce it to the online space. I just took my time. I just took my leave, and that was it. I lived life. I went to Thailand, and a lot of things happened leading up to that point where I went to Thailand this summer for 2 months with my family and with my boyfriend, my now fiance, and had such a great time. So many memories, so many experiences, so many life lessons, so many tough situations where I had to lead myself using what I've learned over the past few years in real life, right? Because it's one thing when you learn something and you know it up here in your head, but it's a whole another ball game when you actually have to apply it to your real life and apply it to your relationships and actually see the growth that you've made and how much of that wisdom lives within your body and not just in your head. So that's a little update, because I feel like I have not been on stories. I've not been posting. I haven't been on live, and I've just recently been posting a few posts here and there, whatever I feel called to share. So I wanted to kind of express that here as well. And I'm slowly, posting on my podcast as well. So if you are a podcast person, definitely go listen to that. I have revamped my branding and the name of my podcast. It used to be called Unapologetically You, and now it's called The Power of You. So if you're interested, if you're a podcast person, you definitely go check that out. So today's video is about celebration. I wanted to talk a little bit about celebration and what that means to me and how that is affecting my current reality, my current situation. So where should I start? I'm definitely someone who has a lot of information up in my head, and then I'm going to try to explain it to you and share it with you in a way that hopefully makes sense. So for me, I just also want to put a disclaimer out there that I understand, uh, by me telling this story, I'm not I'm not throwing anyone under the bus, I'm not blaming anyone, I'm just telling the story and sharing the facts of what is and how I've been navigating and dealing with that myself, so that if you are in similar situation, you can also use that to help you as well. So um, I grew up in a family where celebration just wasn't a thing. It wasn't present. It's not like they didn't value it. It was more like a generational thing where my grandparents, just didn't celebrate my parents for the accomplishments that they've done, right? And I think this is also a very generational thing. I know that celebrating yourself and um, being proud of yourself has never really been part of the Asian, at least in the Hmong community that I've been exposed to. It has not been a thing. So when you do well, it's just expected of you. You're expected to perform well. You're expected to get good grades. You're expected to go to college. You're expected to be this and that, right? So it's just an expected thing from you. And um, and when I remember when I was in elementary school, I would get like all A's, but like maybe one A minus, right? And I remember really distinctively in my head the feeling, right? I don't remember what was said, but I remember the feeling that I got of like, that is not enough. An A minus is not enough. Like, why didn't I get an A, right? So I got instilled within my body, my soul, that I wasn't enough. Like, I needed to always do better. Okay. So that was a big part of my subconscious. Like, that was my beliefs. Of course, I didn't like consciously think that, like, oh, I'm not enough, I'm not doing good enough. Like, I don't constantly tell myself that, but that lives within my subconscious. And as I grew up and as all the things that I did was from a place of I was not enough yet. I need to do better. I need to be better. And that really was the cause of a lot of the things that I strived for. I strived to be better at everything. And no matter how good I was, no matter how well I did, I never felt like it was enough because it was so deeply ingrained in me that whatever I did was not enough. So, and that stemmed from a place of not, as a child, I never really got celebrated for the things that I did. And I've had a conversation with my parents about that. And so I don't hold anything against them because it just wasn't part of what they did. Like, they didn't celebrate each other. They weren't celebrated. So it's just not part of life. They did the best that they could and that they knew how to with the resources that they had. So I really have compassion for them there, but the effect that it had on me is still the same, right? And so because I lacked that growing up, I didn't know how to celebrate myself. I didn't know, like, when I did something good, I never celebrated myself. It's like, well, of course I'm expected to do good. Like, that's it. It's like a check mark, I move on, right? And as I started learning, doing personal growth, developing myself, developing self-awareness, developing emotional intelligence, I realized that has such a negative continued compound effect on me, my self-esteem, my self-confidence, if I never celebrate myself. And self-celebration is a part of self-love. You're loving yourself, you're being there for yourself, even though my parents and my relatives weren't able to do that for me. I now know better, so I have the tools and the resources to do that for myself. And I have started doing that for the past, I believe the past 2 years. Definitely, I've started to intentionally celebrate myself. Like, every Sunday I have in my phone, I put a reminder to go over my accomplishments and to celebrate myself. And I have an ongoing list so that whenever I do figure something out, accomplish something big or small, that I put it in my list so that I constantly remind myself and rewire my way of seeing myself and just learning to celebrate myself. And so I've gotten really good at celebrating myself, and I want to continue that because I know that all the years that I wasn't celebrated is still a big part of my being, of who I am. So from now moving forward, celebrating myself is going to be a big part of what I do on a daily basis, a weekly basis at the least, right? And I want to move that into like allowing other people to celebrate me. So not only did I not know how to celebrate myself, I also was not used to other people celebrating me. So when I met my boyfriend, no, my fiance, I never, at the beginning, I found it so weird that he would like celebrate me and like be so happy for me, and I just didn't know how to take it. Like I honestly, like it might sound so silly to some of you, but like I just didn't know how to receive that celebration because I wasn't used to it, you know? It was like a foreign thing to me. And I met his parents, and his parents also wasn't that celebratory energy. And my fiance grew up with love and celebration around him, like outward celebration, right? Because I know that my parents are proud of me, but it just wasn't something that they outwardly express. So that was the difference. And so I was just not used to all of this celebration because I guess I have internalized this idea that it's not safe for me to share myself, to be fully happy and expressed and celebratory because other people are not going to celebrate with me. So I've developed this fear of being seen, of coming online, of just sharing with people my happy times because it wasn't the norm. So as part of human nature, we want to be accepted. We want to not stand out and be kicked out from the tribe, right? And so I've learned to not celebrate myself very openly, and that has been starting to change ever since I've been in the personal growth, self-development world, because I found out that how important that is. But with all that to say, I wanted to bring it back to the situation of me actually having this internalized belief that other people don't want to celebrate me or don't celebrate me, and that actually my celebration of myself is actually a threat to other people's happiness or to other people's feelings of how they see themselves, if that makes sense. So it's almost like I feel like I'm not allowed to be happy or celebrate myself because I would be like boasting or bragging about myself, and that can in some way, shape, or form negatively affect the other person. And when I think about that, it makes me like I'm someone who is very kind and caring, and I care about other people and how they feel, and I never want to intentionally hurt somebody or make them feel bad for the life that they're living or the situation that they are in. So obviously coming from a place of having that mindset, and if I'm already thinking, oh, like if I share this, I might make other people feel bad, so I'm not going to share it, right? Because I don't want to hurt them. And so that's kind of like where my mind has been recently, and I've caught my way of thinking because I've just trained myself to be so self-aware that I realized that that was what I was doing. I'm keeping myself small in order to make sure that other people don't get triggered, don't feel bad, and stuff like that. And honestly, when I do that, I realize that it's because I don't believe that the other person can handle their own emotions. I actually don't trust that they have the power within themselves to be okay. And so therefore I am in some way manipulating them, or or like their controlling what they see of me so that they don't feel bad, if that makes sense. So I'm not allowing myself to be fully expressed so that they can receive what I have and find a way to lead themselves through that emotion that they're having. So I'm actually taking away a very important opportunity for them to become a stronger person. So when I think about it that way, I don't want that either. I am all about personal power. I'm all about being able for you to navigate yourself, to feel your emotions, to feel your triggers, and to know that you'll be okay, and use tools and resources to help you navigate yourself through out of that and come out stronger on the other side. Through all the things that I've been through, I've only grown and grown stronger because I went through something hard. And I feel like I know that that is the case for you too. And I never want to take away that opportunity for you to become a stronger person. And even if that means me speaking my truth and sharing my celebrations and triggering you in some way, shape, or form, but at the end of the day, it's me being my true authentic self and sharing that so that you in a way can have permission to be your own self. And if you disagree with what I say, then that's also wonderful, because you're learning through contrast that you don't have the same beliefs that I do. Yeah, so I feel like that kind of went on to something else, but I really wanted to talk and bring it back to celebration. That celebration is so important, like self-celebration as well as celebrating other people and allowing yourself to receive that celebration. And if you are like me, where unfortunately you're around people who may not have grown up with that, so they don't know how to do that for you, and that is when you choose to be around people who celebrate you, who are happy for you. And trust me, there are people like that out there. And at first, when I started thinking about the people around me, the people I grew up with, I was sad because I don't have that. I don't have that growing up. But I do have something different now. I do have an online community. I do have mentors. I do have people who care and who are genuinely excited for me and who want to celebrate me. And I'm just not tapping into that energy, that field, that community. And I've realized that, and I'm going to do that a lot more. And so I want to share with you that if you are in a situation where you feel like your family, your relatives, your old friends cannot be that for you, it's okay. Like, you don't have to be mad or blame them for anything, right? You can just have love and compassion for them and for them being a part of your life. But then you can also shift and choose a community that is going to bring you up, who is going to celebrate you, and who is going to allow you to be your true authentic self, fully expressed self. And that is what I find to be the most peaceful, the most joyful, the most freeing feeling that you can have, is when you can be all parts of yourself and feel the freedom to be so, right? It's the best feeling to be loved and accepted for who you are. And sometimes that might not be the people that you are surrounding yourself with. And so if that is the case for you, then maybe it's time for you to start finding some other people. Because just start with one, right? Just start with one person who genuinely loves and is able to be expressive about their celebration for you and of you and with you. All right, so that is, I think I've got my message across. I know it took me like 19 minutes. I'm looking at the clock, but I'm looking at the time. But I really wanted to share what was really live for me right now, what is really true and near and dear to my heart. And that is something that I want to share with you, with my community. and I hope that that in some way resonates with you, is helpful in some way, shape, or form. And if you know anybody that will benefit from this talk of mine, definitely share it with them. And I hope that, you know, if you don't have any people that you can think of that may be supportive of you and celebratory of you, then I'm always here. You feel free to message me, and I'm definitely going to be your cheerleader, and I can be that first person for you as well. All right, thank you for tuning in, and I will see you the next time I post a video, go on stories or go live. All right, bye.